If Microsoft Access suddenly throws ambiguous name detected at you, it means you've got two different things named the same, and VBA can't tell which one you meant. Hey folks, welcome to another Tech Help video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I'm your instructor, Richard Rost. Today we're going to talk about that error message, ambiguous name detected, what it really means, and how to track it down fast. Most of the time it's something simple, like you forgot you already used that name somewhere else. And yes, sometimes that's a tax you pay for copying random code off the internet and just pasting it into your database willy-nilly. Yeah, you're guilty. I know it. And it could even be something that you copied and pasted from my code vault. I don't know. All right, before we get started today, there's a couple prerequisites. First, this is a VBA developer level video, so if you've never done any VBA programming before, go watch this video. It'll teach you everything you need to know to get started in about 20 minutes. And you should know how to compile your database, right? Debug, compile once in a while. These are both free videos. They're on my website. They're on my YouTube channel. Go watch those and then come on back. Today's question comes from Priya in Wellington, New Zealand, one of my gold members. Priya says, how can I fix the ambiguous name detected after copying one of your modules? Oh, blame me. One of my modules? Okay. One of your modules into my Access database. I'm working on a database at work. We use it to track service requests and equipment, and I grabbed one of the code modules from one of your templates because I wanted to add a little status message feature like you showed. The dreaded status box. But now when I try to run the database, I get an error that says ambiguous name detected, and it won't let me do anything. I'm not really a programmer, so my first thought was maybe the code I copied has a problem in it, but I copied it exactly the way it was. I've got other code in my database already, and it worked fine before I added this. Is this something I did wrong when I copied it over, or is there a setting I'm missing in Access to get it to work? Well, ambiguous name is basically that. You've got two different things, probably two different subroutines in the database that are named exactly the same, and Access can't tell which one you're referring to. Think of it like yelling, hey, Mike, and you got 6 different mics in the office, and they all turn around and they go, huh? Which one? In fact, funny story, my name, I'm Richard Rost Jr., and my father is Senior. And of course, I had to continue it, so my son is the third. So the funny thing is when we all get together at family gatherings and they go, hey, Richard, we can all ignore the person because, oh, I thought you were talking to my dad. Or, oh, I thought you were. So that's kind of funny. But that's an ambiguous name. We all have the same first, middle, and last names. The only thing that differentiates us is that suffix. Now, you mentioned you copied something from my code vault. I'm assuming the culprit is probably the status function. Right? This comes up constantly. If you copy and paste code from templates, from the internet, from my code vault, another template, whatever. If you've already got something called status, and then you paste in another module that also has something called status, it's going to cause the problem. Oh, someone's beaming in. Hold on. Now, if both of them are public, which means they're visible from anywhere in your VBA project, then when you call status, VBA throws up its hands and says, which one? Your status module or me? It reminds me of that scene from the night at the Roxbury, right? Where they're like, you, him, me, you, him, right? Me, him. So instead of guessing, VBA just throws up its hands and says, I don't know which one you're talking about. Let's take a look. I get this, by the way, all the time from people who copy my stuff. And they've also copied stuff off of this website. And then they copy stuff off of that website. And they've got a bunch of stuff that they don't understand. And they just drop it all in an Access database and wonder why it doesn't work. So here we are. This is my Tech Help free template. That's a free database. You can get off my website if you want to. Now, down here, I got a global module, right? Now, if I look down here, I got a global module. This is a database level module. And in here, I got a sub called status. It just displays a message on this box right here. That's all status does. Got a whole separate video on it. Go watch it if you want to learn more about this. But let's say, in addition to that, let's say I copied some new module from the web or from the code vault, right? So I'm going to go to create and then module, and this is a new module. And in here, I say public sub status, something new, right? S as a string, and then this one just message boxes, S, okay? So here's a new status function. Save this, new module, right? Now, close this down. And now this button here calls the status function to just display hello world right there. Right, that's all this guy does. If you take a peek here, design view, right click, build event, right? It says status hello world. Okay, save it, close it, close it. Now we open up the main menu. Now, as soon as I click, oh, this moved. As soon as I click on this button, bam, there it is. Ambiguous name detected, status. It has no idea what you're talking about because there's two of them. Which one do I use? Right, now this will put you in, it's going to break your code. It's going to sit here. We have to hit stop up top here, reset, right? Now, if you hit debug compile, which you should always do whenever you put new code in your database, and of course, make sure you're backing everything up too. If you're copying stuff off the web, even my site, back up your database first. I got a whole slide. Where's the slide for that? Hold on, it's very important. There it is. Back up your database before you copy stuff from the web or my website or anybody's website or even make any changes. You should be having a nice nightly backup. All right, but if you do a debug compile, even so, it'll say ambiguous name detected. So when you put any new code in your database, run that debug compile. It'll point out any problems, anything you didn't copyright, any syntax errors, that kind of stuff. Now, how do you find the other one? If you got a whole bunch of code in here and you can't figure out, where it is, well, we could do a database level find. Okay, all you're gonna do is hit Control F. That'll bring up the find window. There it is. All right, now it's got status. Now the default is current module. That only looks in this guy, this module. All right, current procedure means this. That's the procedure that you're in. A procedure is either a subroutine or a function. They look the same pretty much, except for the word sub or function. All right, module is this whole window. Project is your entire database. That's what we want to use. Okay. And then selected text is like just search inside of here, for example. But we want to go current project, find next. All right. Didn't find it that time. I hate how this guy bounces around. Find next again. Oh, there it is. There's the other one. Okay. So now you can pick which one you want. Now, you could, see, stop moving. You could, if you want to, just rename this guy. If it's not crazy and complicated, call this one status 2. Okay, and then save that. And then if you click the button, now your original status function works. Another similar situation that comes up with people a lot is that, okay, let's get rid of this new module. We don't need this anymore. We're done with you. Another thing is that, okay, so status is here in this global module, right? Sometimes people make another status function in a form and don't realize why this one isn't working. Like, for example, if you come in here, design view, right click, build event, and in here you have a private subroutine called status, S as a string, right? And this one just message boxes S instead of using the status box. And now let's say in your order button, instead of this, let's say here we're going to status hi there. Okay, but you forgot you got this one up here, right? And so you're thinking it's going to use the status box on the main menu. But, and this all compiles all nicely and fine, you click the button and you get that, right? Why is that? Well, because modules that are in the form module they call it, the code behind this form and all of its buttons will take priority over any database level modules. So this status function will never get called from that form unless you call it by its full name. Just like form controls have a full name, right? This would be forms customer F first name. You can call this guy by global mod status, right? So if you want to come back into this form here, design view, right click, build event, you got a status here, but you don't want to use that one. You can come down here and say global mod dot status. All right, save it. Well, let's throw in a debug compile once in a while. Close it, and then hit the order button, and oh, it's back there. See, there's that. Hi there. See, it's ignoring its own status function and using the global ones. That's a little bit more of an advanced tip. You could also, if you had, let's pretend you had that other module, you could also make that one private, but then it's only able to be called by other stuff in that module. So if you got like a status that's used by that module a lot, just make it private instead of public. And then the rest of the database won't see it, but everybody in its own module will still use it. I got a whole separate video on scope, variable scope and all that stuff. And that explains that in a lot more detail. And hey, real quick, while I got your attention, hit that like and subscribe button for me. Okay. Helps me out a lot. Thanks. All right. So to wrap it up, a couple tips here. First, don't use overly generic procedure names. Don't have a sub called date. And there are some reserved words you can't use. But, real simple ones. Temp, process, update, status. Right? I know I called mine status, but mine's the boss. Mine's the big one. So you can't use status. I've already used it. Make sure new code won't collide with existing code. Get in the habit of hitting debug compile once in a while. I even put it in my merch store on a mouse pad. There it is right there. See it? Debug compile once in a while. It's on there. And ambiguous name detected it's one of those scary looking errors, but it's really just a 2-minute fix once you know what it means. Here's another good video for you to watch if you want to learn more about variable scope and visibility, who can see what in your database, public, private, all that stuff. And if you like this kind of stuff, if you like learning with me, if you like my teaching style, come and check out my developer lessons. I just released developer level 51. So there's tons and tons of stuff on my website for you to learn from. There's the link. I'll put a link down below you can click on. All right, so let's wrap this up. Remember, ambiguous name detected is VBA's way of saying, hey, you've got two different things with the same name, and I don't know which one you mean. Most of the time, it happens when you accidentally duplicated a sub or a function, also called a procedure, somewhere in your database, especially when both of them are public, because public procedures are visible project-wide, database-wide. Fastest way to track it down, debug compile, use your find with the current project option to search for the name it's complaining about. Once you find the duplicate, it's usually simple to fix. Just rename one of them, delete the one you don't need, or change one of them to private if you need to. So if you've been copying code from different templates, from different random internet sources, even from my code vault, remember, always back up your database first and always compile right after adding the new code. As always, post your comment down below and let me know what you thought of today's video and how you plan to use this in your database. But that's going to do it, folks. That's your tech help video for today, brought to you by accesslearningzone.com. I hope you learned something. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button right now and give me a like. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel, which is completely free. And make sure you click that bell icon and select all to receive notifications whenever I post a new video. Do you need help with your Microsoft Access project? Whether you need a tutor, a consultant, or a developer to build something for you, check out my Access Developer Network. It's a directory I put together personally of Access experts who can help with your project. Visit my website to learn more. Any links or other resources that I mentioned in the video can be found in the description text below the video. Just click on that show more link right there. YouTube's pretty good about hiding that, but it's there. Just look for it. Now, if you have not yet tried my free Access Level 1 course, check it out now. It covers all the basics of Microsoft Access, including building forms, queries, reports, tables, all that stuff. It's over 4 hours long. You can find it on my website or my YouTube channel. I'll include a link below you can click on. And did I mention it's completely free? And if you like level 1, level 2 is just $1. That's it. And it's free for members of my YouTube channel at any level. Speaking of memberships, if you're interested in joining my channel, you get all kinds of awesome perks. Silver members get access to all of my extended cut tech help videos, and there's hundreds of them by now. They also get one free beginner class each month, and yes, those are from my full courses. Gold members get the previous perks plus access to download all of the sample databases that I build in my tech help videos. Plus you get access to my code vault where I keep tons of different functions and all kinds of source code that I use. And gold members get one free expert class every month after completing the beginner series. Platinum members get all of the previous perks, plus they get all of my beginner courses, all of them from every subject, and you get one free advanced or developer class every month after finishing the expert series. And you can become a diamond sponsor and have your name listed on the sponsor page on my website. So that's it. Once again, my name is Richard Rost. Thank you for watching this video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something today. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you next time.